Drones, otherwise known as unmanned aircraft systems, have become widely used by law enforcement in their daily routines. Many departments and public safety officials are seeing the advantages of using drones, and while there are many advantages to using them, some challenges do exist with the implementation of this new technology. Any law enforcement agencies that are interested in using drones should also be prepared to address obstacles and maybe potential liabilities. Drones benefit law enforcement and first responders in many different ways, since they make their work significantly safer and easier, as well as saving the lives of law enforcement officers. The concept of using drones in law enforcement is changing how agencies are responding to all sorts of incidents to keep the public safe. They save precious time by covering more area in the air than law enforcement can cover on the ground. They can also get to the scene quicker because of it. They can also save money, since they are cheaper to acquire and easier to store, operate, and deploy than a helicopter. They save lives by providing vital information from an aerial vantage point that can keep officers potentially out of danger. Drones are a public safety tool that is essential for a variety of reasons. They are integral in the search and rescue operations, traffic accident scene investigations, or tracking and locating suspects. They are indispensable in assessing dangerous situations, such as locating an active shooter or hostage, investigating a suspicious package or bomb, and monitoring serious rioting. Drones can even be first on the scene for any natural disaster response and recovery efforts, which can allow first responders to better focus their energies. Some of the UAS challenges that may hinder law enforcement may have some concerned citizens ground the program before it even lifts off, so careful planning is the key. With all the benefits these drones provide law enforcement, there are still some drawbacks such as concerns over privacy and the Fourth Amendment issues. Above all, positive community support is the key to implementing and maintaining a successful UAS program. Some of the challenges law enforcement face are the public's perception of drones, since a majority have negative connotations which can raise fears. Since drones have the ability to go literally anywhere, there are also privacy concerns, which can be met with a pushback from irate citizens. There are also liability concerns as well, with the potential of injury to persons or damage to property. They may also inhibit violations of various privacy rights and, of course, the Fourth Amendment. There is also concern with internal opposition from old-fashioned law enforcement that do not believe in the technology within the department, or from city council politicians and decision makers who feel the same. To combat this, law officers must produce solid policy and have effective procedures in place to guide law enforcement drone use legally and safely. According to a report by the National Conference of State Legislators, law enforcement drones' uses include evidence collection and surveillance, photographing traffic crash scenes, monitoring correctional facilities, tracking prison escapees, crowd control, and monitoring dangerous situations. Drones also assist in serving warrants, assist in emergencies and natural disasters, assist in an area before sending personnel to search and entry, mapping outdoor crime scenes, locating stolen property, detecting explosive ordnance, and response to hostage incident and armed or barricaded subject calls. Yet with all of the drone's potential, they are subject to scrutiny from state legislators and privacy advocates, which is creating a growing list of prohibited uses, which vary greatly by state. There is random surveillance and crowd control. 18 states have passed legislation requiring law enforcement to obtain a search warrant to use drones for surveillance or to conduct a search. Weaponization. 3 states, Maine, North Dakota, and Virginia, prohibit law enforcement agencies from using all types of weaponized drones. Even these restrictions will sometimes leave some room for interpretation. Since the North Dakota law prohibits lethal weapons, there have been discussions whether it would be against the law to equip drones with tasers or tear gas, which are considered less lethal weapons. Targeting a person based on individual characteristics. It's generally accepted in law enforcement drone use to prohibit their use to target a person based solely on individual characteristics, such as race, ethnicity, national origin, religion, disability, gender, or sexual orientation. Some state laws may take it a step further to establishing restrictions in this area. Facial recognition. Drones can be combined with the latest biometric matching technology, which measures human characteristics to identify an individual. Whether state legislators will take issue with this is something to be seen. A bill passed in Massachusetts would ban drones from using any type of facial recognition except to identify a subject of a warrant. And of course, nighttime use. FAA guidelines only permit law enforcement to use drones during daylight hours. Agencies can apply for a waiver, but it does bring additional requirements and restrictions. And of course, the Fourth Amendment. One of the primary concerns has to do with drone-based policing. It's a way they will decrease privacy. If the courts and legislators remain silent concerning drone-based law enforcement and enact general aerial surveillance litigation to drones, individuals will lose the right to privacy in their homes and on their property. As long as there is no physical disturbance and the drone is in navigatable airspace, the court could say the resident does not have a reasonable expectation of privacy. Yet one particular court appeal stated a law that would require individuals to roof their backyards and turn an open society into a garrison state, where individuals would be obsessed with shielding private activities from all possible observation. It may seem fabricated, but without new legislation or opinions of the U.S. Supreme Court, the lower courts could treat drone surveillance like other aerial surveillance and future jurisprudence for the worse. In conclusion, whenever law enforcement intersects with a powerful technology, agencies are faced with a delicate balancing act. Since drones represent for law enforcement a vast potential of new applications for public safety, yet this potential must also be used in a safe and constitutionally sound manner. The way law enforcement can reach its goal is through a clear, concise drone policy, which would be the best way to help thwart any challenges to drone use. Police departments can extinguish citizens' concerns and fears through trust and transparency.